If a philosophy can't survive your inbox, it isn't a philosophy. We often think of philosophy as something distant, boring. Thick books on dusty shelves, clever quotes on pretty pictures, names we half remember from school. But Stoicism was nothing like that. It wasn't born in libraries. It was forged in real life, on noisy marketplaces, in the army, in politics, even in slavery. It was a philosophy built to withstand the blows of fate and to help a person remain themselves in any circumstance. And if your day is packed with meetings, emails, deadlines, and stress, Stoicism was made for you. In the next few minutes, I'll share 5 Stoic rules that can survive anything: the chaos of the office, the challenges of working from home, even the messiest week of your life. Stoicism is not a museum piece, not a collection of quotes carved into marble. It's a living practice for the most ordinary days, for the overflowing inbox, for the endless meetings, for the casual rudeness in a chat, for that moment when you're too tired after work. We don't choose what happens to us, but we always choose how we respond. And that's where the Stoic path begins. Distinguishing what's in our control and what isn't. Making decisions through the lens of our values. Preparing for difficulties by imagining them in advance. Keeping a daily conversation with ourselves through journaling. And training willpower with small voluntary hardships. Each of these rules may sound simple, but together they create a surprisingly strong foundation. You'll feel less anxiety, more clarity. You'll stop being a toy in the hands of circumstance and become the master of your own reactions. 1. The Dichotomy of Control. The heart of Stoicism is a simple question: what is in my control and what is not? We often don't get exhausted by the day itself, but by carrying the weight of things we can't possibly change. You head to work, and it starts. Traffic jam, someone cuts you off. You walk into the office, your boss is in a bad mood, and the whole atmosphere turns sour. You open your inbox, and there it is, another urgent by noon from a client. Inside, everything tightens. Why did this land on me? Sound familiar? The problem isn't the event itself. It's our own sense of helplessness in front of it. The weather doesn't ask which way you'd like the wind to blow. The markets don't care about your plans. Even your colleague's mood. That's their storm, not yours. But we spend energy as if we could rewrite all of it. And the result? Anxiety, irritation, the feeling that the whole day is just one long fight. The Stoics offered a brilliantly simple idea: divide the world into 2 parts. The first, what is in your control? Your thoughts, your decisions, your actions. This is your tool set, your territory. The second, everything else, people, circumstances, accidents. You cannot control them, but you can meet them with dignity, without panic, without drama, without wasting your energy. And when you start drawing this line, something amazing happens. You feel relief. It's like taking off a heavy backpack stuffed with the entire world's problems, setting it down at the door, and walking on light, carrying only what truly belongs to you. A simple office example. You get an email full of unfair criticism. Can you control the sender's tone and words? Number. But you can control your own reply. Calm, factual, not dragged down into emotion. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." And this simple truth alone can cut your stress in half. 2. Values as a filter. Every day we make dozens of decisions, from big ones, like choosing a project, to tiny ones, like whether to answer a message right away or leave it for later. But most of the time, we act on autopilot. What's quicker? What's easier? What creates the least friction? It's like always choosing the shortcut, even if that shortcut takes you straight through muddy puddles. The Stoics approached it differently. They stopped themselves and asked, "What matches my values? What is honest? What is just?" For them, it wasn't about convenience in the moment. It was about the kind of person they were becoming with every choice. Picture a simple situation. You're working on a report, and you're tempted to smooth the numbers a little so your boss is pleased. It's quick, it's easy, and maybe no one will ever notice. But is it honest? Deep down, you already know the answer. The Stoic choice is to do what's right, even if it takes longer, even if it means explaining uncomfortable facts. Because in the end, you go to bed with a clear mind, instead of that nagging thought, "Well, I kind of cheated." A small lie, even unseen by others, is like a stone in your shoe. You keep walking, but it rubs at you with every step. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." That's the filter you can apply to every action, and the more often you use it, the lighter your day becomes. The unnecessary noise fades, clarity appears, and with it, a sense of inner strength. Just one simple filter, and your entire workday unfolds differently. You're no longer reacting on autopilot. You're consciously choosing who you remain in every decision. 3. Negative visualization. At first glance, the idea sounds strange, even gloomy. Imagine the worst. It feels like a recipe for pessimism, for anxiety, for unnecessary fear. But Stoic practice works very differently. It's not about dragging yourself into sadness. It's about freeing yourself from panic when life doesn't go according to plan. Think about it. Most of our stress doesn't come from the events themselves, but from the surprise. We walk through life expecting everything to run smoothly. And then, bam, a meeting gets canceled, a project is cut, a colleague lets you down, and we snap because we weren't ready. Negative visualization is like mental insurance. You rehearse possible difficulties in your mind ahead of time. Today, the meeting might be canceled. The project could be cut. My colleague might mess up. I might hear a no. And if those things really happen, you're calmer. You've already played through the scenario inside. You know what to do. You're not panicked, not shocked. More like, well, I was ready for this. And if everything goes smoothly, the joy is doubled because you expected trouble, and instead, life handed you a gift. Things turned out lighter than you imagined. Seneca said, "He who anticipates misfortune takes away its power." When you mentally allow for difficulties, they stop being monsters. They shrink into ordinary events, things you can handle. Try a simple exercise. In the morning, before you switch on your phone and dive into tasks, close your eyes for just 1 minute. Ask yourself, what could go wrong today? And what will I do if it does? You'll be surprised. Your anxiety drops and your resilience grows. It's like training your muscles before a race. You're prepared for the strain, and it doesn't break you. The same here. Negative visualization strengthens your mind, makes you more flexible, more calm. 4. Journaling. Marcus Aurelius never wrote his famous meditations for future generations. They were his personal journal, a place where he spoke honestly with himself. He wrote down doubts, weaknesses, mistakes, questions. Not to appear wise, but to stay clear-headed and strong in the middle of an empire's chaos. And this same practice is available to us. A Stoic journal isn't a thick notebook with perfect quotes and beautiful pages. It's a tool, one that takes only a few minutes a day, but delivers a huge effect. In the morning, you can write a short note. What do I want to keep under control today? Where do I need more calm? How do I want to treat the people I'll meet? That little reflection sets the tone for the day, like tuning an inner compass so you don't drift off course. And in the evening, a second, even more important note. Where did I lose my temper? Where did I give in to irritation or fear? And where did I stop, reflect, and act like a Stoic? A few sentences like this turn a random day into an experience, not just a blur of events. On paper, everything looks clearer. Your thoughts stop spinning in circles and become words, and words can be reviewed, compared, tracked over time. Slowly, the journal becomes a mirror of your character. You begin to see your own change. Fewer emotional outbursts, less chaos, more clarity and inner strength. And that brings a quiet confidence, the sense that you can grow and guide yourself, even when the world around you is unpredictable. 5. Voluntary hardships. We live in a world where comfort has become the norm. Hot water in the shower, a soft bed, fresh coffee in the morning, air conditioning in the summer. These things are so normal, we barely notice how dependent we've become on them. But the Stoics understood, when life is too comfortable, we grow fragile. The smallest disruption knocks us off balance. That's why they deliberately introduced voluntary hardships into their lives. Seneca would sleep on a hard bed, eat simple food, or wear rough clothing, reminding himself, "Is this what I fear? It's all bearable. I can live this way." For him, it was an exercise in freedom, freedom from possessions, and from the fear of losing them. In our daily lives, this doesn't mean we should turn life into endless struggle, but we can weave in small challenges with ease. For example, walking instead of taking transport for one short stop, eating simply, giving up sweets or caffeine for a day, starting the morning with a cold shower, turning off your phone for the evening and sitting with silence. At first it feels uncomfortable. The body protests. Why bother when I could do it the easy way? But then comes an unexpected feeling. I can handle this. I'm free from the habit. That's the essence of the practice. When you willingly step away from comfort, the world stops being so frightening. You no longer ask, what if the internet goes out? What if I can't get my coffee? What if I have to go without my car? Because you already know the answer. You'll be fine. Seneca wrote, "Poverty is not having too little, but needing too much." Voluntary hardships remind us of this truth. We need far less than we think. It's not about suffering for the sake of suffering. It's about inner strength. You train resilience like you train a muscle. And when a real hardship arrives unexpectedly, you meet it calmly. Because you've already practiced discomfort, it doesn't scare you anymore. Try living with this mindset for just 1 week. Give yourself a 7-day Stoic experiment. And then ask yourself, how has my sense of life changed? You may find that the world around you is exactly the same, but inside, there is far more calm and far more strength. And that's the essence of Stoicism, not to change the entire world, but to learn to govern yourself so that no world can ever break you.